We are here in Thimphu with Samdu Chetri, who is the Executive Director of the GNH, Gross National Happiness Center. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about GNH. I learned a lot today. What can you explain to our viewers in a minute what GNH is all about?
GNH is about the inner qualities of human beings. It's actually balancing the material and the spiritual well-being of an individual, not really looking into consumption patterns and into production, rather connecting oneself with the nature, one. Two, living with our own innate wisdoms and value. Three, serving others. This is GNH.
Wonderful. So what I've learned is that the government of Bhutan actually measures GNH and uses it in how it makes its decisions for governance. What are some of the biggest changes that they have made in the recent years that you may know of?
Well, we do measure, not only at the government level, it can be actually, it's a holistic human-centered development, not really looking into, you can't measure poverty, for example, but it does measure the sufficiency level. So what does the government try to do is provide conditions for people so that they can pursue their own well-being and happiness. And over the years, we have realized one thing I can very clearly see is it looks into equity, for example, equal distribution of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last 30 years almost, our Gini coefficient, the difference between gap between rich and poor, has remained the same.
Mm-hmm.
So which means that the government is trying to really bring the poverty level up
Mm-hmm.
through the sufficiency measure levels and systems.
Okay, great. And then we also talked about how, in Bhutan, people are generally happy. They're considered one of the happiest people in the world. Yet there are also societal issues. There's crime and there's other things. How does that go along? If people are happy, then why are they actually committing any crimes?
Oh, it's a wonderful question, difficult to answer, but the awareness has dawned not because we are a happy nation or people with this innate wisdom and value that we live. It's because of the media that we are exposed to the world outside. Because I think for every individual, when you ask a question, are you happy? The first immediate answer is yes, because it's innate in oneself. See, in the similar way, we also see that we always see greener pasture on the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
But when you face it, then you realize that it is not green as it looks. And so a lot of our youth actually who go abroad, they just make money and run back home.
Mm-hmm.
Simply they know that even if you have a lot of material things, pocket full of dollars, you're not happy because happiness is inward and not in the material things.
Mm-hmm.
It probably for some time you would realize that it would bring your happiness level to a certain point. After that, there's no happiness as such. So therefore, that realization is dawning very much. And government of Bhutan has started already educating GNH in school children,
Mm-hmm.
so that it will be a long-term sustainable approach to the whole concept of GNH. And if Bhutan had not opened to the world, if we had, let's take that scenario that government hadn't opened to the world outside, then I could imagine Bhutan would be totally aloof from all this kind of material life altogether. But as we are a part of the globe now, part of the world, big world, there is this opening of a lot of advertisement and sensitization that comes into the young minds.
Mm-hmm.
And it very quickly and easily captures, telling you what to eat, what not to eat, what to wear, things like that. But if you look really deeply in, and this is what is being taught in schools, and if you ask any young child today, he or she might immediately contest and say, no, money is not everything. It's just a means to an end. And he will give you 100 of reasons why she's saying that. So this is dawning in our children as well. So we have kind of a three period, if I talk about, a period post 1998,
Mm-hmm.
and 1999, and pre-1999.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, we didn't have this kind of creeds or this kind of thoughts because we were closed by the world, in the world. We didn't have televisions, we didn't have internet. but it was in 1999 His Majesty the King gave it to the people with the concern saying that I let you now, to the televisions and internet, but how you use will change us, our way of thinking and our life. So please be mindful. That was how he opened it to the Bhutanese. And from then, the journey that we had taken, we suddenly realized there's too many things coming to us because of these advertisements. Now in the country, if you go around and see, we don't have a billboard anywhere. You don't see an advertisement here. Because we have realized this is something that catches your nature very fast, People, innateness gets killed very easily because of the tempting things that comes into your eyes and into your sensation. So therefore, we're trying to take now another stance, and that is bringing, education on GNH in the schools. Hopefully that we will have transformed our generation by another 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm. So as Bhutan becomes a developing country and we are exposed to commercialization and it's becoming an open global country, is Bhutan still going to consider to be the happiest place in the world? That remains to be seen. In the meantime, Sumadhu and his 12-person team are going to continue to measure and advise on how to educate the people about GNH and keep that going.